Okay, y'all, so we back with another talk with Kicking It with Key. I got a special guest today, and his name is Julius McQueen. I said it right?
You said that right. And thank you for having me.
Okay, so yeah, this is we just gonna be talking about basically our spiritual journeys and just how we going through them and just helping people out that's struggling with it and just get like what inclined you to like just want to get on a spiritual journey? Like what pushed you to just start?
Really, it wasn't anything that really just pushed me. It kind of just like, it seemed like it just happened. Like I was going through, really, I feel like the lowest point in my life, just trying to figure myself out, find out who I am, just trying to figure shit out. Like just knowing like I'm a good person, find out who I am, just trying to figure shit out. Like just knowing like I'm a good person, I got a good heart. Like I'm knowing like I can't keep going through bullshit. And it's like the answer just started just coming to me. So as I kept just, I don't know what it was. It's like God just kept giving me signs, and I just kept following my intuition, and it just kept bringing me to something else. And each thing just kept me, it was like a clue to find something else or figure something else out. But I really can't explain it, but that's just how I kind of got into it.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know. If let's see, I don't know if I told y'all whenever I had this conversation with in my last one. Well, I don't know if it's my last video, but with Bria, my friend, how I got like into it or whatever, but I can relate to like how you did because that's kind of how what happened for me. I think for me it was one big thing though. It was like a lot of little things that was happening, then it was like that one big thing that just like forced me. It's like, all right, you gotta see me, like
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
you gotta turn to me. You can't
Yeah.
handle this. You can't be in control all the time. Like you gotta give me my recognition, like recognize me and go on this journey and become a better person. Then I'm finna activate you into something greater than you are right now. Like, and it was at my lowest, like
Yeah.
when I felt like I ain't have nothing, like rock bottom,
Yeah.
nothing to lose. Like I can't do nothing but go up. And
Exactly.
so okay, so I got a question because I don't know if I'm the only person that did this. Like okay, before I got on my spiritual journey, I don't. Let's see how do I put this. So I didn't think like it's a word for this. They call people that don't just believe in God at all.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call them people like?
You sound like atheist. Or,
Atheists.
yeah.
So I wasn't no atheist or nothing like that, but I was definitely walking around like I'm just trying to see like was I the only one like this? Cause everybody, spiritual journey is different, but
Right.
I was just walking around like, all right, I'm everything is in my control. Like nothing's gonna, you know, because we can't see God, so we feel like we are the only ones in control. Like we feel like we got it all figured. We got to figure it all out, and we got it all figured out. So I guess I just couldn't really recognize him before like I got on until I was just forced to recognize him. I felt like I couldn't because I couldn't see him. So what struggle like I'm basically what I'm trying to get to is how did basically let's see what's the question, what made you like not see him before? Like is it because like like they say you gotta have you walk by faith, you can't you don't
Yeah.
you're not gonna see it. Like you gotta trust and believe in your path that he's because he writes it out. He the author of it. Nobody else on this world, on this earth. So that can really like lead you and guide you the way you need to be besides him. So what struggle did you have with that before actually getting on your path? Because that was my struggle, and which I know it probably is a struggle for a lot of more people because we don't see God, so we feel like God, you not here, or you done abandoned us when things get hard. So
Yeah.
how did you feel? Like did you kind of feel that same way or?
I feel like for the most part, like I was saying, like I just know I'm a good person. Like I do good things. Like I try to make the best choices. Like no matter what I come up against, like I always try to, what I'm saying, do the right thing. And it got to the point where like I was just questioning. Really, I guess the first part was just like Jesus, like because we was born into like our parents and grandparents telling us what to believe and like how to live and how to be. But I just went through a phase where I wanted to just unlearn everything and just relearn like for myself. So like just really just meditating and just reading and just it's like the information just started coming to me, and it was like basically like we got all the answers for everything that we go through. So it was just me just really just questioning like who is Jesus, like, you know, like, because I don't believe that Jesus is just a white person. I don't feel like even if Jesus is a white person, I don't really feel like that's just something that we have to just really, I don't know, it's just, I don't know,
Just
it's
go
kind of
by
hard.
believe. It's kind of
Yeah.
like below the surface type thing. Like you want
Yeah,
to
it's
get
like
deeper.
a distraction.
Yeah. You ain't really want to just go by what people say and how things are supposed to be done, like what our ancestors said,
Right.
or you wanted to find your own understanding and dig deeper, go below the surface, and that's the thing. So why do you think people don't dig deeper and find, like you said, it's answers, it's things to everything, it's the answers are out there, like books. You see, I got books everywhere. But like, why do you feel like people don't want to do that?
Because it's so easy to just accept what a person just put in your face, or like what your grandparents tell you, what your mom tell you, because you know they love you, they care for you, so you want to believe that everything they told you is right. Like, you don't want to think, oh, my mom lied to me and my grandparents lied to me. Like, you want to believe that because you got respect for them, you love them. So I feel like that's the main thing. Like, we just go by what's right there in front of us. And the main time, like, most of the time, like, if we can go beyond what's like put in our face, that's when we really get the truth.
Yeah, and I feel like that's exactly right. And I also feel like, for me, and for some people that don't like want to go the easy way, if you the hard way is the best for me, because I feel like it makes me the most developed, like the most formed, and it brings out, it takes me to another dimension. Like, it makes me a better person. Like, it activates me. So I definitely choose the hard way anyway. Like, reading a book was so, now I got bookshelves, like, and everywhere I go I'm gonna have a book. Like, reading a book is hard. So actually, but y'all actually have to do that. Like, you will actually, it's finding identity. Like, it's finding yourself. Like, when you isolate yourself, and just do those hard things. Like, definitely detach. I feel like detach from the world, detach from the things that are just like what we supposed to do, or that's just obvious to do, because you will definitely find deeper understanding to everything that goes on the surface. Like, it's more in depth. It's more than just what it is, like, in the face. So yeah. Okay, so like, what would you tell people that have a hard time with seeing things like in the natural realm and in the spiritual realm? So like, as you go on in your day-to-day, basically, like, I'm sure, like, we still human. Like, we, even though we on a spiritual journey, we not perfect, we still make mistakes. So I know I struggle, like, sometimes with seeing things, in the spiritual realm all the time. So, and I'll, sometimes, backpedal and go into my natural realm of thinking or seeing things. What would you tell them? Like, what do you do when you do that? Like, when you see things in the natural realm while on your spiritual journey? Like, what helps you? What keeps you going?
I think for the most part, like the way I see things is like, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like when you on that journey, like when you really got that relationship with God, it's like certain things stand out to you more, so like you pay more attention to it. So like, for example, like when I was in Houston, it was like I'm on a beltway, like I'm just riding, and it's like, it was like this gas station, like this gas station stood out to me, and it was this homeless man, and it was raining, and like I think he had on the red shirt, and he laying on the ground, and I see all this from the beltway, and like I just knew I needed to do something, so I went and gave him a jacket like that I had in my trunk. It's just like, I don't know, it's just like when you on that journey, it's like you just know, like you just trust your intuition, like God really give you everything you need, like, cause me, like, basically my calling is like to be a light worker, and it's just to help other people just find peace in where they at in life, like no matter where they come from, just letting them know that like it's a better way, like it's a better side, like you can still get through it, like you ain't gotta have all the answers right now, but you can figure it out. But like, I guess the main thing is just really trying to learn who I am, and God was really just giving me those answers and those signs to just know how to move through life every day.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I feel like, just to bounce back off what he said, I feel like with me it's the same thing as well. Like it could be things. It's clarity in like just how we continue to move on in our life. So it'd be different. Like I remember the first day when I was on my job. I remember the first day I wrote about it, wrote it down and everything. I was standing in my kitchen and down here in my house down here, and I was Sarah Jakes. You know her. I talked about this on the video, folks. Like
TD Jakes' daughter.
TD Jakes' daughter.
Yeah.
So that's just a big. She just big for me, and that was a big moment for me because that was the first step of it. The first like step that I seen rather on it, and it just popped up on my TV. So I feel like just clarity when you really want to be in the presence of God and you want to get everything that he be fulfilled by him and just get everything that he wants to endeavor on you. You have to really be there. Like you can't just be saying it. You can't just okay, my friend's on it, so let me just hop on it. Like you gotta really be there in the presence and really in his palm and really believe everything you saying. You gotta believe everything you praying for.
Got to.
Yeah, so it's just that's definitely I agree. You definitely if you there and if you are in the presence of his eyes and his hand palm or whatever, when you in his presence, period, he gonna give you clarity. He gonna give you evidence in whatever's around you. And you just gotta be alert and aware enough to see like, okay, this guy speaking to me because he not here in the flesh. Right. So you gotta really look at it in the spiritual realm and not in the natural realm and see that this is his way of speaking to you. It can be through, like he said, a physical performance, whether that's you, your gift and calling is to give, or whether it's a vision. You can have visions like me. I be having visions and dreams sometimes. But, it's different things. You got to pay attention. Just being aware. So, yeah. Okay, I got another question. Okay, so how do you feel about, religious? Are you religious?
I'm not religious at all. I just feel like I say the main thing is really like religion is good because, everybody is unique and, different in their own way. But at the same time, I feel like religion is kind of like a religion for every type of person. Cause I say the main thing is like you got Asian people, Chinese, black, whites, and we all believe in God, we say, but why do we worship in different ways? So I really feel like religion is really kind of like a distraction, but if you can get past that and just understand like your relationship with God just individually, like that's the most important thing. I don't knock anybody that go to church or anything like that, but your relationship with God, like that's the most important thing, not what people think about you or if you believe what they believe. It's what you believe. As long as you believe what you believe, no matter what that is, you good because you living in your truth. So I just feel like that's just like our fingerprints. Everybody got their own fingerprints. Ain't nobody fingerprints the same. It's like we all got our own spiritual journey. So it's like just do how you feel, believe what you believe. And as long as you trust that, like God gonna really lead you and put you where you need to be. So it's just all about just trusting yourself and just believing what you believe and not worrying about what other people gonna think about you, because God gonna put the people around you that need to be.
Yep, you're right. Wow, that's a great answer. Just to bounce back off him, I feel the same way. I also feel like if I'm like, I feel like if I become like too into a religious act or something, it feels like I'm being compressed like into this just one way. And I don't like doing things just one way. Like I'm a person like with everything, not even just spirituality. It's anything financially. I want multiple streams of income. Emotionally, I need to express my emotions in different ways to my partner, and whatever. Physically, it's multiple. Like it's just different. I ain't never limited, and I feel like being in a religious act or just being devoted to one religion or one way of praising God, that's just like compressing myself into like this box, and this I'm following people that are how they thinking and how they feel about God, and it's like, okay, they think like that, okay, I'm gonna go over there because that's kind of almost like the way I feel. So I'm gonna just go on over there and just be in that, contained in that box. And it's like, no, because I'm a person where I might go further than this. Like I'm always elevating. So in transforming, like, and I ain't got no limit. So it's like I can't just limit myself to this, you know, this peak of where this certain church, you know, stays at and what they do and the limits, the certain things that they limit around and only allow in here. So yeah, that's the thing for me. And I also agree with you saying, like, it's definitely about just getting that relationship with him. Like I've said on my previous videos, like I went to church here, like at my house, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I had to gain my own personal relationship with God first. And that was me living in my truth, you know, like you said. So just actually just following yourself. Like, and then I ain't no follower. Like, I'm a leader. And I stand strong and firm on what I believe in and what I, you know, in my truth. So that's another reason. But I don't know nobody, like also like he said, I don't know nobody that's religious or that goes to no church, because that's ain't judging it or nothing like that. That's just my own preference. Like, that's my way. Like, even I go to church. I go to any church, actually. I will go to any church. But I just can't be devoted to one. I go to one, and when I'm there, in comparison to how I used to feel when I used to be there, I used to just be like, I don't know if you feel the same way, but I used to be like, when I used to go before I got on my spiritual journey, I used to feel like everything when I went in there, I seen everything. But now it's like it's me and God. Like, it's like I'm in my own zone. I done just zoned out because
now you got that relationship with God, like you know God.
Yeah, it's like when I used to go in there, I used to just be like, oh, they finna just run up and down these. They finna act.
You know what I'm saying? It's like an act. You know.
Yeah,
you know what they finna do.
I'm just planning it out. And then I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared too sometimes. And then you ain't supposed to really be scared. Like, you're supposed to be fearless. We fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, that's what God said. So I'm supposed to feel like this. That's how I used to. And this as a kid, you know, coming up, because I've been in the church since little coming up, you know, and I just feel like now I just be zoned out, and I love the feeling, and I know, because I know I'm really there. And so yeah, so okay, another question. This might be my last. I'm kind of running out. I ain't really running out. I just don't want to run out, because I ask questions. I ask questions all night, like on whatever topic. But yeah, okay. So, what would you say to people that, like, let me see, like, okay, so before you got on your spiritual journey, you was living this life, you know what I'm saying? But you probably was going out, you know, I don't know really exactly how your person. I know you was out though, you know, a little bit, but I don't know to what extent you was. But what would you say to a person that just is outgoing and maybe feel like they gotta, like, shield themselves now because they on a spiritual journey? Like, should it be like that? Or should they feel like that? Do you, like, what would you say to them, like, to continue going on in their spiritual journey and not be judged? Because, you know, some people may feel like, oh my God, I gotta be, they gonna say there's something about if I go get a little sip of wine, or if I go out for a little second and have a little fun. Like, what would you say to a person that's kind of trying to balance that, you know?
And I love the fact that you said balance, because that's the main thing, just finding balance for everything. Like, that's really the key to life. Like, no matter what you do, like, if you can find a balance, like the happy medium with whatever you do, like, you're going to be good. But for a person like that, just struggling, like, trying to, you know, still want to live that life and still want people to kind of see them in a certain light, like, just be true to who you are. Like, if you feel like, hey, I want to go out, then that's fine, go out. But if you feel like you're doing too much, or you feel like you're forcing yourself to go out, or you're forcing yourself to make other people happy, you're doing it more for them than for you, then you out of sync with yourself. You're not balanced. So the main thing is just staying true to who you are and just always being balanced no matter what.
I agree. It's to bounce back. Yeah. Definitely stay true to who you are, and no matter what, nobody on this earth, I feel like, me personally, if I go out, because I'm gonna go out. Like, I'm gonna go out and have a good time. I'm young. I'm still full of life. I'm not gonna just lose my mind and just.
Because why would you not go out? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's okay to go out. It's just like, I feel like when people just kind of lose yourself, you doing crazy things. Like, you drinking too much, like, for no reason, and, you know, it really ain't even benefiting you, so what you doing that for? So, just do it. You know, it's okay to drink, but at the same time, like, just don't overindulge and overdo things.
Overdo, balance. Like you said, balance. Balance is the word. You know, just knowing how to do, and like I said, nobody on this earth can judge you. I don't feel like nobody can judge me. I don't care what I do. I know what I got, what type of relationship I got with God. He comes through for me. He shows me in different, like, in clarity, and I got great understanding with him. So once you there, you know, you can do what you want to do. Just don't don't do too much. Don't think you can just do anything because you got a personal relationship with him. But, you know, whatever. But yeah, okay. So it was something else I just thought of off of that.
Cause I'm just saying, like, just it's so many different lanes you can go, like, just with that topic. But people gonna think what they want to think about you anyway. So it's like, do I try to impress the person who opinion really don't matter? Cause, like, we don't know what people be thinking. The only thing that matters, but we thinking how we feel. Cause at the end of the day, we got to deal with that, not them.
Yeah, and people don't know you. People, at the end of the day, I always say, like, if you ain't had no deep conversation with me, you don't know me. Like, God knows me, and I have conversations with him. I, like, nobody can, you people will see you and see what you're doing in a moment or a situation, and then they'll just run with it. That's who you is, and that's who you are. Like, no. And some people are so, like, low self-esteem, you know, and you if you don't be careful, like, you will fall to that. You will fall victim to that. You will actually believe what they saying, and just ask for, you know, in that situation, that type of circumstance, just ask God for strength, like, in your mind. And that gives me another great question. Like, what would you say for people that aren't as strong, like, to go on a spiritual journey? Because it definitely takes strength, like, in so many aspects, to just keep going and, you know, be able to withstand. Like, what would you say, like, if you aren't strong on your own, or if they ain't strong on their own, like, what would you say? What could they do? What are ways they could help if they can't help themselves, what ways could they be helped?
And I say probably the most important thing is just, like, really just grounding yourself, like, just meditating, just praying, like, just really just trying to figure it out, like, within yourself. Because, like, everything outside of you, like, that's really not as important as the things that's inside of you. So, like, whenever you meditate and you just sit in there, like, even if it don't seem like you're gonna get the answer right then, like, I promise you, if you keep trying, it's gonna come to you. And it's gonna be like it's out the blue, but you're gonna feel it when you feel it, and you're gonna understand, like, okay, this is what I need to be doing. But you gotta really know that, like, for one, like, who you are, and you gotta know that God, like, you got a purpose in this world. Like, you're not just here, you know, for no reason. So just really just figure out what your purpose is, but you got to know first off, like, I got a purpose, like, I'm here for a reason. So anybody who just kind of, like, you know, like, mentally weak or, like, just mentally challenged, just, like, give yourself time. Like, you ain't got to have it right the first time. Like, you ain't got to have all the answers. Like, you got time to figure it out, but just love yourself enough to give yourself time to figure it out and go through the process.
Yeah, because we have patience when we wasn't on no, we had patience then to try to work with the toxic things, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, give yourself time on that as well. So yeah, I agree. And also you kind of just basically said you really have to tap in to yourself. But I was trying to, when I'm asking, because we freestyling, all these videos are pretty much freestyle. We wrote no questions down, no nothing.
Yeah,
so
just real authentic.
Yeah, just off the dome. Like, so I'm trying to, when I ask you stuff, I'm thinking about it as well and listening to your response. But you basically just said they need to, it's no matter what, you gotta tap in. You gotta get within yourself. You gotta tap into yourself. And meditation is I meditate every day. Yeah. Every other day. I'm still trying to get on that pattern.
Good.
But for the most part, I meditate. Like, it always calms me down. It gets me intact with myself. And that's a great way. Reading, going outside, nature, just connecting with, you know, nature. Just God, what he created, the world, earth. Like, just go outside and just tap in, man. Like, but I was trying to think of another answer other than within yourself, because people struggle with just tapping in with themselves. They scared of themselves. They don't know how, you know, and it's really because of fear. So I'm trying to think of other ways that can mentally, like, strengthen you. I would say if y'all have people around you that you can relate to, I wouldn't force this. Like, if you, and another thing, if you're on your spiritual journey, don't force this on your friends if they don't want it, because I don't believe in nothing being forced. And I ain't forcing it on none of my friends. Like, well, I ain't got many friends, but I ain't forcing it on nobody, like, that's around me, that may come around me or whatever. But I would say, if you, like, I don't know, maybe among your parents or whoever, I would say, if you having a hard time connecting with yourself, talk to somebody that can relate, like, that's spiritually further than you, and that really lives like that, and that, but can also come down to your level and help break down and explain things for you to, help encourage you and strengthen you while, on your path. And so I got another question. So, okay, so, like, when we are going through things, and, some people have a tendency, while they on their journey, this is for some of y'all out there that may be on your journey and that have a tendency of just giving up quick, like, just saying, okay, so, like, if you pray and you don't see it, that whatever you asking for in prayer, you don't see that right away or immediately, and then you immediately question God, like, oh God, you ain't answering my prayer. Or if you pray and then things are just deliberately happening to you, just disaster after disaster, and it's like, okay, God, why you doing this to me? What would you say to them in that type of situation? Like, how to just push on? How do you feel like God speaks to us when things happen, like, in that way, because it ain't always, just because you're on a spiritual journey, it ain't always gonna be just sunny days. And
man, I really feel like being on a journey, like, it's really harder because you're aware of everything that's going on. So, like, even like you're saying, like, friends or family, like, they not understanding what you're going through. It's like you seeing beyond the physical, you seeing it in the spiritual. Everything that happens in the spiritual first. So it's just like, just trying to really understand, like, what's going on. But, like, I guess really just to answer that question, because God gonna really relate to you in different ways. So it's just like, once you kind of understand a relationship, that's why it's important to build that relationship with God. Like, it's gonna be certain things that happen that you just gonna know, okay, this is God. You know what I'm saying? But, like, for example, like, for me, it's certain things, like, I can just, like, even if I'm meditating, and then, like, if I kind of just get off track and my thoughts just kind of just venture off or whatever, it might be just like a loud noise, or it could be like the refrigerator just go off, like, making a noise. Like, it can be anything simple like that. But I know that's like God really let me know, like, okay, yeah, you know what I'm saying, get back right. So it's just like, it's just different things, but you just gotta really just build that relationship so you can understand, like, how God communicates with you. But it's really, it's so much I can say about that, but it's just like,
in a nutshell, you just have to pay attention.
You gotta pay
and you
attention.
gotta know that is him.
Yeah.
Because, like, when we in our turmoils, I think, like, just to bounce back off him, I feel like it's a blessing for him to, like, okay, so I was going through all my stuff. I feel like it was the worst, and it was the worst still to me. And right now, because as we go on, as we continue to go on our journey, things are going to continue to still happen. Whether you're on a spiritual journey or whether you still doing just all the dirt in the world, whatever. But you still going on a journey, and things are still going to happen. And I feel like just when you on your spiritual journey, you're more aware because you're in the presence of God, and that lets you know that everything is going to be all right. I don't complain because, like, I don't complain about nothing. I don't too much worry. I ain't gonna say I don't never worry, because I mean, I'm human. I worry, I stress a little bit, I still struggle with it. But for the most part, when things happen, I just always gotta give gratitude to God at the end of the day, because I feel like I just feel like I'm blessed that because if you ever wonder, like, think about it, when we go through things and we come out of it, we be like, I don't know how I got out of it. But nobody says God got me out of it. Like, somebody say it, but most people say, I don't know how I don't know, like, oh wow, I don't know what got me through that, I don't know what. And we say that a lot, and we don't, in that, same moment, in that the present of that moment, we not giving him recognition. Because I know I used to be like that. So I would just say, I just give gratitude to him all the time. When anything happens, like the worst thing can be going on to me right now, and I'm gonna be smiling and laughing and just try to just laugh through it. Try not to worry, because God, the universe, whatever you call him, the highest power, whatever you call it, it's working in your favor when you don't stress. You vibing high, you vibing low when you stress and you complain and you question and freak out. I know it's easier said than done, because it's like you gotta control your nerve and everything, but God is more powerful than that. It's the highest power. Whatever you believe in or whatever you say, at the end of the day, I'm gonna call on God, because he forced me to call on him. So I'm gonna just say it's God. I'm gonna say that until I get up out of here. But at the same time, like, yeah, I'm just glad that he even comes down. Like, I feel like when mess goes on, you shouldn't just say, God, why you putting me in this? You should just be thankful that you are able, that let you go. He not putting you through this. I think so. A lot of times when we go through things, we pretty much are like, we know why we go through things pretty much, unless it's like just something unexpected and we good people and ain't nothing, like, we don't know where this came from. But even in the unexpected, it's something being put on you that you can bear. It's something that you still gonna get through, because it's something that you got through. Like, it could be something right now that y'all thinking about that you done got through and passed, and it's like, wow, like, I ain't know how I did it or whatever. And it's not just you, it's deeper within, it's God. So I'm just glad that he is able to trust me to go through the things that he like puts me in, or just because of my mess, like because of me dancing with the devil like before, or getting myself entangled even now, like on my spiritual journey, like still making mistakes. He still like trusts me to go through that and come out stronger and more, developed into the person I need to be. So I just think it should be just a time of gratitude. I know that's hard in the moment, but when you go through that like that in the moment, it makes the situation easier. Like, yeah, it's just in a nutshell. So I just
said a mouthful, then you said a lot, but that's so true, like, for real, because it's so hard to just really in those moments to like focus on God when you feel like you going through everything else, like the world on your shoulders, like. But that's what I say, like, all of that really just be distraction. But if you can just focus on God,
and that's the devil. The distractions.
Exactly.
The distractions, like, all right, there's some little voices in your head. It's like, you can't do this. You ain't worthy. Like, God don't hear you. He ain't here. Where he at?
Yeah.
It be in the same way y'all hear them little voices, or like I do sometimes too. Like,
because why would God tell you anything negative like that?
But the same way you hear that, why we can't just look at God's signs? Why we can't look at his evidence? Because that's the devil. That little voice in our head that discourages you and that tells you not this and you can't do this, or even you are this. There's something that you're not, and that turns you around from further, keeping on and elevating to where you are supposed to be. Because like you said earlier, everybody has a purpose. We all have purposes, and we can't let those little voices, the devil, come in to us, because if he is able to come and tell us that in our head, we disconnected from ourselves. We disconnect from ourselves, and he can win through depression that way. He can win through suicide by coming and telling us things in our head. So you have to be careful of which sign you listen to, which one you pay more awareness to and alertness to. You got to pay more attention to God's evidence and not the devil's evidence. So yeah, that's a great, y'all, we just freestyled that video. And I feel like we did a great job in 30 minutes. So what else do you guys say? What made you, I want to add in with this, what made you want to come on? Like, you want to like just talk about spirituality and just be, open. Like, what made you, I know you said like seeing, we been from the same hometown, but like just elaborate on that. Like, what kind of made you?
Because I feel like it's important, because I know it ain't just us that's going through that. And I really feel like it's really like a shift. Like, I'll just say, I ain't gonna just say this generation, but like really in this generation, like it's just a time for like change. And I feel like it's a lot of people going through things, and like they kind of just scared to really talk about it. They don't know who to talk to about it, but just really just want to make people more aware of it, to let people know it's okay. It's people that go through things too. Like, we go through so much and we feel like we got to put on this persona and hide things. But like, bro, it's okay to go through your shit. Just go through what you go through. Like, it's okay, but just really understand that you're going through everything for a reason. You're not the only one going through it. And what you go through might be a testimony for somebody else to not have to go through what you went through. So it's just important to just share your life story with people. That's why we here, to help one another, you know. That's just how I feel.
Okay, that was great. Well, I appreciate you for reaching out. I appreciate you for tuning in to me starting off with this, you know, trying to influence people, like you said, saving people, not as well as myself, because I'm shy. This is his first time doing something like this. I'm coming out the box just because this is real life. Like, this is things I'm going through. I don't know who I could probably be helping, saving. I don't care if it's one view. Like, it's just a little couple minutes of my time. It's the truth, and I don't know who can help, and I'm a helper. I want to help. I love to see lives transforming into something better. And I just appreciate you for tuning in. I wouldn't matter if you was just the only one that watched. Like, that means a lot. And especially from the hometown, like, just watching, you know, it's hard to get people around you, you know, to really support. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you for taking the time out to come and just express your spiritual journey, because, you know, that can be a private thing for some people and whatever. So I appreciate that, and that is all. I hope to have you again on the future episodes,
Sure. Yeah.
And you did great.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you.